Hey everyone, so today I want to cover the official production numbers for the S550 GT500. Now I did a video a while ago covering all 22 colors that this car was available in for its 3-year production lifespan, but at the time the production numbers that broke down how many of each color and the total amount of cars and options that were produced was not available. But as of now, Ford Motor Company has officially released that information, so we know exactly how many of each car and each color and each option were produced for this car. So I want to go over those numbers individually on this. I want to go over the most and least popular paint colors for each year and for total production and some of the most popular options for this car. So let's start off with the total production numbers for this car. For 2020, Ford manufactured 5,939 GT500s, which included 77 pre-production cars. For 2021, they built 4,265, which included 21 pre-production cars. And for 2022, they built 3,926 cars, which included 23 pre-production cars. So for the 3-year production lifespan for the S550 GT500, Ford Motor Company built 14,130 of these cars in all the different configurations. Now again, I don't want to break down every single option. It's just too much information to cover in all the different color combinations. So I want to cover probably what are the two most sought after options, which is going to be carbon fiber track pack and the over the top stripes. Now, starting off with the carbon fiber track pack, the most expensive option for the GT500. They came in at $18,500. For 2020, Ford built 1,383 carbon fiber track packs, which was 23.2% of total production for that year. For 2021, they built 1,209 carbon fiber track packs for 28.3% of total production. And for 2022, Ford built 1,550 carbon fiber track packs for 39.4%. So for 2022, they built less total cars, but they built a significantly higher amount of carbon fiber track packs. So total production for all 3 years, 4,142 carbon fiber track packs of the 14,130 cars produced, for a total of 29.3% of the entire production run. Now, one car I think that's worth a special mention is the carbon fiber handling package. That was a 2021 only option. It was essentially situated between the handling package and the carbon fiber track pack. It was essentially the handling package with the addition of the carbon fiber track pack wheels that were painted black. They built a total of 68 of those cars. So that's a pretty rare option overall for the production. They, like I said, it was a 21 only option and same wheels as this, but they were painted black instead of being exposed. So now let's get into the over-the-top stripes. Now, I'm not going to include the side vinyl stripes. There's just too many other combinations. I want to cover cars with and without stripes. Now, I often hear people refer to these cars that don't have stripes as a stripe delete car. Now, that's not really true because this car did not come with stripes standard from the factory other than the Heritage Edition, which came standard with vinyls. But there was no delete on this car, so if you didn't get stripes on a non-Heritage car, it just didn't come with stripes and you didn't opt for them. Or if you got a Heritage car, you had to have either vinyl or painted stripes. There's no such thing as a stripe delete on an S550 GT500 from the factory. So if it doesn't have stripes, like on a Heritage car, somebody took them off after the car left the factory. So that's a common misconception that I see people refer to. So you had the option for either going with no stripes, which was the standard setup for this car. You had the option for the $1,000 vinyl stripes, or you had the $10,000 painted over the top stripes. So let's go through each year and total production. For 2020, painted stripes, 17.3% of total production, 1,031 cars. 2020, vinyl stripes, 49.3%, 2,943 cars. Cars with no stripes for 2020, 33%, 1,965 total vehicles. 2021 stripes, you had 16.9% with the paint over the top stripes, 722 cars. For 2021 vinyl, you had 51.9%, 2,214 cars. And finally, 2021 GT500s with no stripes from the factory, 31.1%, 1,329 cars. And finally, 2022, 27 40.9% with the painted over the top stripes, 1,098 cars. 45.2% with the vinyl over the top stripes, 1,776 vehicles. And then 2022 no factory stripes, 26.7%, 1,052 cars. Total for 3 years of production for the S550 GT500. 20.1% left the factory with painted over the top stripes, 2,851 cars. Total production for the vinyl stripes, 49%, 6,933 cars. And finally, cars that left the factory with no stripes, 30.7%, 4,346 cars. Now, 22 did skew those numbers a little bit because you had the Heritage Edition came standard with vinyl stripes, and then you could opt for the painted over the top stripes, but you couldn't get a stripe delete on that car, so more cars came with stripes, and then a lot of people opted for the Heritage Edition, which I'll get into in a little bit. So, and it's also worth noting that Ford did offer a lot more over-the-top painted stripe color options for 2022, so that kind of skewed the numbers a little bit as well. Now, body colors. I want to cover the 3 most and least popular for each year, and then the top 5 least and most popular for overall production. Now, one thing I do want to note, there's 2 colors that I'm not going to include in this because they were not available to the general public. For 2020, Ford made 1 Green Hornet color and 1 Venom color. Those were charity cars. Ford noted that on the official production. You could not walk into a dealer and buy those colors, so I'm not going to include them since they were not available to the general public at any price for the most part. So, colors for 2020, starting with the most popular, coming in 3rd place, Rapid Red, 13.1% of production, 781 cars. Coming in at 2nd place, Shadow Black, 14.1% at 839 cars. And coming in number 1 color for 2020 at 14.2%, Ford Performance Blue, 848 cars. For 2021, the most popular, coming in 3rd place, Shadow Black at 13.7% at 586 cars. Coming in 2nd place, 15%, Oxford White, 640 cars. And coming in number 1 most produced color for 2021 at 15.3%, the Carbonized Gray at 656 cars. 2022, the final year, coming in 3rd place at 10%, Oxford White, 395 cars. Coming in 2nd place at 10.1%, Shadow Black, 398 cars. And no surprise, the number 1 most produced color for 2022 at 31.8% was the Brittany Blue of the Heritage Edition, 1,249 cars. So those are the most popular for each year of production. Now let's get into the least popular for each year of production. Starting with 2020, coming in 3rd place at 5.1%, Race Red at 305 cars. Coming in 2nd place for 2020 at 4.9% was Velocity Blue, 292 cars. And the rarest color for 2020 at 3.9% was Kona Blue, 237 cars. The least produced colors for 2021. 3rd place, again, Race Red at 5.2%, 225 vehicles. In 2nd place, with 4.2%, was Grabber Yellow at 180 cars. And the rarest color produced for 2021 at 4.1% was Velocity Blue with 175 cars. And for 2022, the rarest colors for just 2022, we have a tie. For 3rd place at 3.5%, you have Atlas Blue and Race Red. They made 140 of each of those colors for 2022. In 2nd place at 3.4%, you had Iconic Silver at 134 cars. And the least produced color for 2022 at 1.4%, Cyber Orange, 55 total cars with all options included. Now, let's get into the complete breakdown for all 3 years of production for the S550 GT500. Again, this was 2020 to 2022, a total of 22 total colors. Again, not including Green Hornet or Venom, because those were one-off colors. They made one of each of that color that were not sold to the general public. Starting off with the top 5 most produced colors for this car. Coming in at number 5, this was the only one-year only color to make this list. You had the Brittany Blue of the Heritage Edition, 8.8% of total S550 production, 1,249 cars. Coming in 4th place at 9.3% was Rapid Red, 1,324 cars. In 3rd place, a 2-year color at 9.8%, Ford Performance Blue, 1,397 cars. 2nd place at 12.5% went to Oxford White, 1,773 cars. And the number 1 most produced color for all models and all setups of the S550 GT500, no surprise, Shadow Black. 12.9% of total production, 1,823 cars. Now, the top 5 rarest colors for the S550 GT500. Again, out of this total production of 14,130 cars. A couple things I just want to cover. 22 absolutely dominated the list for the rarest colors. There were 3 reasons for that. Number 1, 22 was the lowest production year. They made the fewest amount of cars that year, so obviously that gave them a significant advantage. And you also had the most amount of 1-year only colors for 2022. 8 of the 14 colors available were 1-year only, so that gave them a significant advantage. And so many people opted for the Heritage Edition, the Brittany Blue color, that it pulled down all other numbers. Even the more common colors like Oxford White and Shadow Black, those numbers were significantly lower for 22 because so many people opted for the Brittany Blue of the Heritage Edition. Coming in number 5 for the rarest colors for the S550 GT500, we have a tie. For 1.2%, you have Grabber Yellow, which was a 2021 only color, and Code Orange, which was a 2022 only color. 180 total cars produced in that color for the 3-year lifespan. Coming in number 4, at 1.1%, you had Mischievous Purple, 162 total cars in that color. 3rd place at 1% went to Eruption Green, 147 total cars. 2nd place at 0.9% of total production, my car, Atlas Blue, 140 total cars produced. And the rarest color for total production of the S550 GT500 at 0.3% of total production was Cyber Orange, 55 total cars built in all option combinations. So I want to link this information below so everyone can digest this. I know a lot of people were looking for this information of how many of each car were produced. I'll put this information below so you can read through it. You can read through all the options, find your car, or if you're looking for a specific option or specific color or something really rare, you can dig through all 3 years of production and find out how many of each option, each color, and each setup were officially produced. But now we officially have that information and know how many of each car Ford Motor Company built for the 3-year production lifespan of the S550 GT500. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.